Hi, it's Anya Devine here, and it's twilight really, so I guess the light is fading a little bit. I've decided to do something on this yellow sheet of paper. I just discovered it as my energy increased gradually this evening, and I started realising I have a bit of a creative thing going on. The potential to be creative, I suppose inspired. I felt a bit inspired and had energy to spare. I wasn't being consumed by thoughts and stuff as I had been earlier in the day. And it's amazing to notice that, that the energy consumed by worry and anxiety, all that kind of carry on, once somehow, I don't know exactly how well, I had a swim. That might have been helpful, and I cleared out the studio, which also is helpful. All the stuff is in the car because the recycling centre is closed. They've a strike this weekend, so I've still got to dump or to take that to the recycling centre. But I think there was something cathartic in doing that and having the swim, and then, well, even then I was a bit stuck in myself. And then I just gave myself permission I tuned in and I thought, what do I want to do? I thought I want to read my book in the cafe. And that was a great thing. I only read a couple of pages, and suddenly it freed up something. And since then I felt alive again. So I don't, I'd be wary of discovering that as a formula now, that I have to go to a coffee shop anytime I want to feel. Maybe it was the caffeine effect. I don't want to say that though. It was something more than that. I've also had a lovely walk in the woods. But my goodness, I was a bit low this morning. So it's nice. It's kind of exciting to see that how much of a turnaround in a single day there can be. I suppose it's heartening to know that as well, as evidence for the next time when I maybe feel a bit of a dip, Okay, so anyway, I came across that. It'll be dark by the time I get going. And I've got the ink, and the black ink here. And I'm going to use that to draw with. I had practiced saying this now. I said, I'm going to be strict with myself and just work with the ink alone. But I know, I was wondering whether I'd say it or not, because when I say the word strict, there's the old rebel in me that wants to do exactly the opposite. So I'll pretend I didn't say that, and I'll just say how much I enjoy working with ink and not having to get loads of equipment out, knowing that tomorrow, if I want to do more with different material like paint and stuff, I can easily do that. Having already done a little bit of drawing with the ink, so that's my plan for now, is to just navigate the position of things here. And I like looking up at them, because these sunflowers, my friend Joan Reid bought them for me for the flower painting workshop that she came along to. And I'm really grateful, Joan, if you're watching. Thanks ever so much. These have lasted for ages, but they are bowing their heads now, and that's why I've chosen this viewpoint, because I think I just like to see, for them not all to be facing down the way. And when I look up at them like this, there's a couple of them looking straight back at me. And I love the shape of this one here that's facing the window. Oh, can you see okay? I hope my head isn't in the way. No, maybe a little bit, but anyway. Okay, and I've got my microphone on. I'm giving myself top marks now for today. So far. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to mark myself at all. It's the same voice that comes out with the strict thing. No. So the thing with ink and a stick is that it's unpredictable how thick the line will be. And that's, it might be considered kind of a hindrance, I suppose, a limitation. And sometimes limitations cause us to be a little bit more alert, maybe, to what it is that we can do to make it read successfully. So I suppose I'm noticing as best I can, when the ink starts to run out, I'm going to the bits where I want there to be a thinner line, like the bits facing the window here. And let's see. And like as I twist the stick around, it's unpredictable, but as I turn the stick here and there, it does tend to get thicker again. So it's definitely not a fully controllable thing for me. So, and that's exciting because it's the whole make chance essential thing. Don't know if you can see very clearly there, but I'm doing my best here now. So I think this is the best we can get unless I turn on the electric light, which I don't want to do. So I may just get to draw this single sunflower in this setting, and it might be that tomorrow. I could always close the curtains on the other side of the building and still have most of the light coming from this side if I were to go back to this in the morning, which I think I will be inspired to do because it's exciting. It's quite a good viewpoint for the camera too, if you were able to see a bit more clearly what I'm doing, just because of the lighting, I mean. So in the morning it should be quite good if I do another little bit to it tomorrow. I'm feeling a little bit of a push now to do something that you'll be able to see, like with the darker ink, but I actually don't want to do that because I'm enjoying navigating it gradually. So I'm sorry if it's almost invisible. I can bring it closer to you before the end of the video. I'll bring the picture closer and we'll see how we're getting on. Right, I need to focus a little bit more now here, because that is going to go down there. Maybe even a bit lower. Yeah, there. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. And we've got the central. I'm noticing the little islands of dark. They're almost like triangular in shape that represent the center of the sunflower. It's just 1, 2, 3. The third one is up there. It's a different shape, the third one. It's a bit of a flat topped triangle. And then down below here, there are these beautiful petals spilling forward, tumbling out from the center and down the way. And as they're doing that, the sky is changing pink. It's a beautiful sunset. Something lovely in that, isn't there? Sun setting. And how the sky changes from moment to moment. John O'Donoghue's got a bit about that in his book called Beauty, the Invisible Embrace. He's got a whole chapter on colour, and he talks about the blush of colour at twilight being like the last kind of the light of the day giving its last shining performance, you know. How twilight kind of lights up everything. Everything is given a new glow before it just descends into darkness then. I kind of like that as a metaphor. And then we can have the capacity to shine bright just before the darkness. And I guess, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Maybe there's something like the mystery of that, you know, like the accentuating the darkness, the light accentuating the dark. When you least expect it to. Now this is a lot thicker than I would have planned it to be, were I in complete control. But at least this is the darker side of the petals. What I might do is continue this drawing without the video, because I can imagine it's completely grainy now and probably just irritating. And I can post, or you'll see how far I got with it tomorrow. But sure, I'll keep going now anyway, at least for another little while. While I'm working on this one. Oh yeah, you can see something anyway. Okay. And then there's these petals that are overlapping the center. Yeah, and there's one here. It's almost at right angles, really. And then there's a space between the two. Maybe a bit bigger than I got at first. And another little army of petals extending towards the light this time. I need to watch that my position doesn't change. Every so often I feel like I'm seeing a lot more of the center, and it's just because my head is turning. Or else the flower is turning towards me. I don't know. They say they turn towards the sun, and then my friend who lives in France said actually that's not true. In her experience, they don't turn towards the sun as it moves. Okay. I guess sunflowers are, you know, they're at the point now where they're at the point now where they're kind of becoming crispy, the petals, and they've got that little characterful feeling as they're turning into really dried petals and falling away. They've just started falling off. As I was moving the setup around, a couple of them started falling off. So they're just on the cusp of being of withering, really. So I'm glad to have this chance to feel the energy to paint them. And I had this prepared a while ago. I'm just going to lift this bit of ink off because it's dripping down there and kind of distracting me. I had painted this about a month ago when I did that other sunflower painting. I'll show it to you in a minute. I painted 2 backgrounds the night before, and I'm glad, because I thought I wouldn't use this one, and I'm glad that it came to me today to use it. I had a lovely day in the end today. Jeez, it started out fairly tough, but it ended up being really satisfying. I had a walk with Jeff there, my friend, and I ended up having a swim, of course, at Mackenzie, and then reading my book in the cafe was a turning point as well. And just what else happened? Something else. I did a little bit of work. I sent out a few emails and things that had been playing on me a bit, and it was really good to recognize that as soon as I felt okay in myself again, I was able to do all of the things that seemed beforehand to be a burden, and they weren't at all burdens. Like, this is stuff I love to do. So that was all quite an enlightening thing to realize over and over again. I seem to be given that lesson. It's kind of like Shakespeare said, nothing is or is not, but thinking make it so. So I can think myself into feeling like, oh, everything's wrong with my life. Or I can think myself into, and I'm not saying that it's all rosy in the garden, like, but there's focusing on the things that are going well. And there's a lot of stuff that's going well in my life. I say that because I know it more than I can think of things to spout out in a list now, but I know that there is, like, because when I think back to maybe 10 years ago and what I would have wanted for myself, I'd say I'm ticking a lot of the boxes. That's I've never actually admitted that to myself before, but it feels that way. Oh, I'm going to knock the sink now all over the place. You really can't see a thing, I'd say. What a shame. I could have started this video a little bit earlier, but I would have if I could have, sure. Right, let me see now. The centre of that one. be about there. I'm just going to do something at least semi-recognizable before you go, so that you know where I'm at for the next step tomorrow morning. And there's a little bit of sense made. So I'm doing the center of this next sunflower, which will be, maybe just use my finger to fill in the dark of it. It'll be there. And this underpainting is done in acrylic. It was a yellow ochre, I'd say. Yeah, so that's the position for the second one. By the time I've got around to showing you what I've done, it'll be too dark for you to even see it close up, I'd say. But why don't I just do that right now? And say goodbye to you. Okay. Yeah, it's fierce dark, isn't it? Let me just turn on the light, see what happens now. So there's my attempt at the sunflower that's facing down the way. I think it'll make more sense when that, and that are all dark, so that you see them as the center of the sunflower. And then this is the center of the next one. And there'll be a third one facing that way a little bit, and the other one going down that way, and then one at the back as well. Might end up doing the whole army of them. You'd never know. So, thanks for joining me anyway, and I'll see you next time. You might have only been able to hear me there now, I don't know. At least I had the microphone on. But we'll get places with that. Okay, see ya. I might do a bit more just now, actually.